What's up, everybody? Today's August 11, 2026, and here's how I lost $910 day trading today. Very unfortunate. We were about to pass this eval right here, the 25K. Unfortunately, now we're back at halfway, and the 50K is about to be blown. But these were A plus trades, in my opinion, A plus trades. So let's get right into it. How I lost. And yeah, that's kind of my executions right here. So this was on my 50K on TradingView. Check the Instagram and TikTok I posted, and then this was on my trade seed, the 15-second right there. And then sort of P&L wise, I'm down 380 on my 25K for the day, and then on my 50K down 530. So more of a huge risk for both of them, just slightly risk. And on the 15-second, my RR was kind of fucked due to my fill. I was just targeting enough to pass the eval, and unfortunately I didn't pass it. But however, that doesn't mean anything because it will get passed. We're still halfway. So coming into my buys, coming into today, I was clearly bearish, right? So there is a very, very strong reason for that. What did we do overnight in Asia session? We are clearly now displacing and wicked out this daily. Same thing that we did here, right? So in a market maker buy model and in the buy side of the curve, right? So in this case, like this side of the curve, what you get is you get retraces to continue higher. So what we did here is we retrace into this daily, then we get another high, doesn't sweep it, generating liquidity. Now we get another daily tap in, expecting what? Well, us to run it, right? Because that's what market does. And then not only that, I had my conditions set as this 1 hour. This was very obvious. I think every single person I know that I talked to, and in general, not only some of them took the longs that I took, or they said that they were good, but everybody wanted longs from this 1 hour. And I literally was about to risk so much on my 50K, and very, very confident. You see how I say confident in today. But anyways, getting into market open at 9:30. What did price do? Well, 9:30 first manipulates lower into this 1 hour as expected. If we go to ES, I think at the time it didn't hit the 1 hour right yet. Let's see. No, so it did hit the 1 hour. So right here, I was looking for longs. I was looking for some sort of Judas. And I will say though that because this sort of displacement was very big, right? Already 100 points, but I love the wick out of it. If I were to take the inversion, it would probably have to be something like this then, which was fine by me because I was really confident in price. Just what? Well, we have this clear AMD model, right? I'll just delete it on yes, we have this very clear AMD model with pre-market doing what? Well, generating liquidity. We have been generating liquidity for the past 3 fucking hours basically, right? So what can we expect 9:30 to do? Well, when we get this AMD structure and we have a clear big 1 hour, we use it as our condition, and if it does respect, we can expect longs, which in my opinion it should have, but of course the market is sometimes stupid as fuck. Anyways, once we start to trend lower here, I basically got rid of that exact scenario. The only thing I could hope for really now is caught longs. Now, I did see that we were also inside this 1 hour. I would not take a long from here. This is just pretty fucking ass. I was telling myself that I'd rather just wait us to sweep the intermediate low inside the daily, right? That's why it's written intermediate low D, not daily intermediate low, because it's an intermediate low in the daily, but it hasn't closed as a daily. Anyways, so right here, again, saying, I did see some sort of mech long to this 5 minute, but I didn't want to take it. And then I think that there was a short after. I honestly didn't really like it. I just wanted to take longs, honestly. And I don't know. I just didn't fuck with it. I think lifetime I said it was kind of like buns in a way, or I just didn't want it to play out. Yeah, but whatever. If you took it, I think that would be break even depending on fill or whatever. Then we hit this intermediate low on the daily, and now all I'm looking for is some sort of count longs. Like, to be honest, there was also this 5 minute here. I did not see anybody take it. I would not take this shit. Not only do I not take 5 minutes anymore, the structure on this is just very bad. However, I will say though, I did want to take, it was right here. There was like a little 15-second gap. So once we hit the 1 minute, there was like a little 15-second gap that I was telling myself, okay, I'm clear, like I'm confident we're gonna hit this 15 minute. So if we go back here, um, it would be, I think, here. So it wasn't a 15-second gap. It was more of a CISD, just displacement rejection. But I kind of told myself like I kind of want to take it on my 25K just to pass my 25K eval, because I know that we're opening up a 15 minute and we're gonna hit it for sure. But then I also told myself I don't want to take that because it's not a trade, and if I lose it, I'll be mad. So, anyways, after that, what did price do? When now price hits this 15 minute, and I told myself I'm not gonna look for a con short. Like I don't see why we would use this 15 minute to go lower, especially because what are we attacking daily, right? A daily gap that we're clearly rejecting. So the only thing that I wanted to see now, and was technically one of my scenarios, however it's more here, is that now we start to generate liquidity in the form of accumulation. We get our PL3 opening to distribute, right? Especially when you have AMD and PL3 aligned, that's when your setups will play out. Now what do we get? We get exactly that. Now coming into the first trade that I kind of took, so I'll mark that out right there. So this was a 15-second trade. As you can see, these are my executions. I don't know why, by the way, I get filled twice, which is very stupid that this is happening. I pressed the market order, and then I don't know if it's because it's on trade seat that there's like a fucking sell limit, and then there's also my stop loss, which is weird. Um, but I guess I have to put my sell limit like somewhere further, just away from it, and then only have the stop loss. I don't know. Anyways, but yeah, that was that. And my fill was kind of fucking ass. Again, 15 seconds are hard to get, perfect fill. Only took it on the 25K, just trying to pass it. And then by the time I got filled, I was just trying to send my TP to make sure that I can pass my eval, and then stop loss was kind of bullshit. But anyways, I expected it to run if we did. But getting into the trade, why do I think that this was a good trade overall? Well, what do we have now? We have a 5 minute gap sponsored from what? Not a 1 hour, not a 4 hour, but a daily. That is very, very key. Look at this beautiful rejection we have, over 150 points. Yes, we are in a 15 minute. However, the reason I do not care about that is because what did we do? Well, we generated liquidity, but not only that, more significantly, right? And again, PL3 AMD, something that I preach, something that I've been back testing very, very sort of very, very focused on realizing, is stacked PL3. What do we have right here? Ignore all the other drawings, but what do we have right here? Yes, we hit the 15 minute. I don't like, honestly, that we hit the CE and ES wicked it, but we have what? Even more LRN draws above, right? Adding on to our AMD model. But what do we have right here? We have a clear accumulation, right, with 10 a.m. generating the liquidity. So sorry, if we go all the way back, right, 10 a.m. opens, okay, generates liquidity in the form of our accumulation. 10:15 perfectly sweeps this low, turtle soup, okay. Not only that, we get a SMT with the 5 minute gap and an internal SMT. Okay, now yes, technically yes, it does have a 5 minute. However, there is no reason for us to manipulate, because 10:15 already did it on NQ, and also ES was already rejecting from this 1 hour. Look at this nasty fucking wick. Okay, um so practically fucking irrelevant for ES to hit the 5 minute. I didn't care about that. Again, I took it off the inversion, and then also the CISD. Technically, this is a CISD, which my fill was. However, I wanted to see just a CISD of this because initially we failed to distribute, but then we got a very strong closure above it. So I was fine with that. Targeting a 1-to-1, well, not really because of my fill, and then ended up a loss. Very brutal. After that, I just locked myself out of the 25K, which I'm happy about. I don't know, is it still locked? I guess not, but I locked myself out of the 25K, telling myself, okay, I already took one loss on it, and I didn't pass my eval. I'm gonna be pissed if I take any trade, right? So after that, I was still open, however, to looking at stuff. Now, that trade is whatever now. And now ES does hit the 5 minute, which in my opinion, again, not needed at all. We already have true manipulation NQ is perfect, stack PL3, AMD, inversion, CISD, turtle soup, double SMT. Like, the only way that this could be not any better is that if we weren't in this 15-minute. However, we generated liquidity showing it's weak. Um, and whatever, that's fucking stupid. But we generated more liquidity now, and I wasn't paying too much attention, right? Because again, I wasn't willing to trade. However, I literally peeped it right here once we opened this gap, and I was like, okay, in all honesty, I will take this, because now what do we have? And again, this is utilizing PL3, right? PL3 AMD. Now we have fully stacked PL3. We have 10 a.m., 10:15, and 10:30. Now again, 10:30 does what? Remanipulates how 10:15 did and puts in another SMT. Now we have more reason for ES to hit the gap, to distribute, because it's inside this 5-minute. Yes, the only bad thing I can say about this is that we have been chopping. However, it's only for less than 30 minutes. And the reason I was willing to take another trade is because the draw liquidity now was so fucking obvious that there is no way I would fade this. However, I already locked myself on the 25K. So I told myself I'm going to take it on the 50K if we get a strong inversion with it. Because now what do we have? We have even more reason to go higher, right? Previously, we only really had LR to target, right? LR. But now we have a 30-minute unmitigated. So now if price is truly bearish, we already know this 15-minute is weak. So what does price have to do? Well, price is going to hit this 30-minute agreed upon drawn liquidity, by the way, if we are somehow going to continue lower, which I didn't really see us doing, but whatever. And then, yeah, that's practically where my TP was. You can see on MNQ going back to my stop loss and TP. That's essentially what it was. So now what do we get? Well, we get that 1-minute inversion. ES is in the 5-minute, right? You can't really say anything about ES. I mean, yeah, ES, is somewhat choppy. However, it's already been, and we're ignoring that because 1030 has a reason to distribute now, right? This is the key thing. And whatever, maybe today was just, whack day. You can blame it on price action, which I personally am, but it's not an avoidable loss. Like, whatever. Yeah, even some other people were saying that it was good. But anyways, 1-minute inversion, right? Practically beautiful as fuck. And now looking at it deeper into price, right? What do? Well, now we have initial mitigation right here. It fails, right? We have the sweep. Now we have fully CE of it, SMT as well, and more PL3. So this should, for a fact, distribute. If not, then the whole trade idea is fucking wrong. Like, you literally have initial mitigation, sweep, CE, SMT, PL3, right? So that's actually, sorry, a better way of drawing this would be like that. Yeah, so PO3 opening, that's supposed to be 1030. Anyways, what does that do? Well, of course, price fucks me and it runs the stop loss. Why was my stop loss here? Well, either way, to be honest, it was more of just like not necessarily RR, but I just assumed that truly if we were going to be bearish, and this fails again for no fucking reason, it's just going to chop even more, which it later did. Takes it out right here. Now, for absolutely no reason, we have a setup now at, I think, 1047 as it is. 1047. Absolutely nothing is added to this. Nothing is added. In my opinion, I would actually fade this. And I guess, whatever. Never fade my draw on liquidity. You can, argue about it. However, now we've had over what? Well, now we've had over 40 minutes, okay, of choppiness. But also we've had 2 failed A or A plus setups. With everything, we already had our PO3, we had our initial mitigation, CE, SMT. There's absolutely no fucking reason that this should play. There's no reason that this should play. Not to mention, okay, it's an external, or what even was it? Was it a 3-minute? I didn't even peep it, to be honest. 2-minute, okay. 2-minute, okay. 2-minute that takes more time to close. Okay, it's some external bullshit. The current manipulation lag, I think, was a 15-second. Okay, so external, you already have 2 failed setups with already having every single thing that you need, and of course it somehow plays out. So that's see, the thing is, I'm not pissed that I take these 2 losses because I think that they're great losses, right? Maybe this one is more avoidable because of the chop. However, you have such a clear draw on liquidity that there is no way price doesn't take it without being fucking retarded. Like, there is absolutely no reason, in my opinion, if you took this 1047 trade, two things. If you took it without taking any of these trades, you're fucking retarded. I'm being so honest. I don't give a fuck. They're stupid. Maybe I'm coping. I'm not even coping, bro. Because there is nothing that this better offers than these two. If these two already failed and are A or A plus, this one's shit. This one's shit. I would not even take this paper trading. Okay. um, but however, if you did take it after, let's say, taking this one, or maybe this one, I mean, in my opinion, I see why people could fade that one because like whatever. But if you take this one after that one, okay, that's more valid because like okay, you're really focused on your draw on liquidity. However, like there is absolutely no reason to take this setup, which in my opinion is probably a B, like or if not worse, like it's fucking shit because this does not offer anything better than these do, and you've already had two failed setups, um, and whatever you can say that okay now, um, NQ hits a 15-minute, so it offers new manipulation, which is the only valid argument I can see about that, and then the draw on liquidity. However, there's just no reason. There's no reason that if price was truly going to be bullish towards this LRL and this 30-minute that we should now distribute. And there's no point of me taking another trade. If this lost, I would probably fucking be completely pissed if I take this. So after I took this, I accepted it. Right, accepting the loss is better than knowing how to capitalize on wins. But that's my trade recap on how I lost 910, right? So 380 on the 25K right here. And then it was 530 on my 50K. Very brutal. However, I don't care because losses are statistical. They're normal, right? Understanding how to take one and not being an emotional gambler after is very, very key. And just knowing how to control your emotions in general. So I might actually make a video on that on the weekend, psych-wise, because I haven't done any. Or actually, I'll write that right now in my notes. Make a psych vid on how to take losses, because I know that there are some people out there that unfortunately do not know how to take any losses, and they end up blowing accounts because of that, which is brutal. But yeah, with that, guys, I hope you did learn a lot. And drop a comment down below what trade you guys took or if you faded or anything. Today is a brutal day, honestly. I think it's one of those days where, Price wants to do some other bullshit and then not deliver, but then deliver when we have nothing new. Again, whatever trade you took here is valid. This one, just in my opinion, doesn't offer anything better. It's not the fact that it's not valid. Maybe I'm coping and I want to hate on it more, but you just don't offer anything better, right? But anyways, guys, subscribe to YouTube if you haven't already. We're about to hit 200 subs, I think. I think we're at like 189 or 190. So pretty close. But anyways, guys, see you in the next day. And I promise you right now, this is getting passed this week. I don't care. This 25K is getting passed. We will get back. I'm telling you right now. Tomorrow, I think, is going to be news. So I hope that that's going to give us better PA. Yeah, so CPI and PPI. So yeah, we are going to, for a fact, past it tomorrow. Or, I mean, sorry, this week. But yeah, I'm yapping too much. Anyways, guys, have a good rest of your day. Peace out. Much love.